Well, you're in for a busy couple of weeks. Well, it's just over 2 weeks, and this year, am I right in saying you're spreading the net even further events in places that perhaps you wouldn't have been or haven't been in a while? I'm thinking of the islands.
Well, I mean, we're spread right across, from any showing out to the islands, and we start, on the islands this weekend. We have a production called Arasharish, which is a VR show that's happening on Armore. It's happening on the new foreshore space there, the new park on Armore at Lee Garrow, just off the ferry. It's about a 5 minute walk there. It's a fantastic new space. Obviously, it's been created by the community, by the core common and the Armore Council as well too, along with Donegal County Council, and that's taking place on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday between 1 and 5. And we're also on Gola for the first time. We've been on Armore a number of occasions, but this year we're doing a guided walk on Gola on Saturday and Sunday as well too, and that's at 3 o'clock. You take the boat over as well too to Gola for uh, it's a mixture of poetry, spoken word, and visual arts on the island between Irish and Scottish artists. And we're also then moving to we have events on Tory as well too this weekend. We have the Fanzini Productions, the circus group, going out to Tory this weekend on Saturday and Sunday as well. So there's a lot of island based activities, and then a lot of stuff actually within the Gaeltacht as well. West Donegal, we have a show by Patrick Quinn called Rev, which is in the Arkland on Saturday night, and then Ronan Snoddy of Keela and Miles O'Reilly, Trafagin and Spazas are going to be in the Arkland on Sunday night. So there's a lot of events happening, and across West Donegal. We also have a number of different things happening in Letterkenny this weekend. So there is, as you mentioned before, we're glad it stopped raining basically
Hmm.
for
We're
the
all glad.
events that are happening outdoors. Whilst the space is covered in Armore, the other events, are open to the air, and a lot of these events are free. The Arasha Race piece on Armore is free. There's a capacity of 6 people for each show there. So people can come along to that. We're offering that on a first come first serve basis. But if anybody wants to come along to it, they can put their name down, and let's say the shows will be at 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3, 4, and 5. So yeah, delighted that it's finally a wee bit drier than it has been.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're delighted as well that you're back as normal this year, which is great. And a lot of those outdoor events are free. They're family events, and I'm thinking about things like Ballypooley and Handful of Dreams. And there's a number of like circus type acts as well. And I see that you have a number of events over in Rafo at the park in Rafo over the course of the festival.
Yes, so that's as we move into next weekend over the 14, 15, 16, and 17, we have a focus on Rafo. We have the circus camp workshops for kids, a number of different performances happening during the day, which are all free. And then there's a number of evening cabaret triple bill shows for all ages happening at Rafo, and that's been part of a kind of a focus for us is to be able to bring more of what we do to places like East Donegal as well too, which would have kind of been underserved traditionally in terms of kind of arts activities over the years. And what we've recognised obviously as well too is that we're very conscious of people's disposable income and the cost of living, and how that affects people. So we've made quite a number of shows free for everybody as well too. So as you mentioned before, yes, we're operating in some places we haven't operated in before. I mean, it's very difficult to be operating in everywhere at the same time. We just don't have the resources as much as we would love to do that. But again, we have a great spread of events, and a big focus on circus, family and street arts events, which is say are very accessible for all the family, and that takes place in Rafo. And then the week after, we move that to Malin Green, where
Yeah.
it's the most northerly village in the country on the Wild Atlantic Way. So we've been there, and that's run very successfully over the years. Obviously, the last 2 years we weren't there, but it's great to be back. As I say, meeting people in person, and to be able to kind of host those events again, live, and with full capacity audiences.
And there's always a big buzz in Malin at the big top, and the Henry Gears play a big part over the course of that final weekend. And even beyond the big top, I see that show Rev that you mentioned that is in the Colgan Hall in Carndonagh. But there's kind of something for everyone, and it's a true arts festival insofar as there's family shows and lots of music, which we'll get to in just a second, but even art and crafts are covered over the course of the festival.
Yeah, and I mean, what we tried to do as well. I mean, the last 2 years has given us a bit of an opportunity to think about what the festival does or doesn't do for people, and we undertook research over the last 2 years to kind of try and find out what people thought about the festival, how we could maybe reach people who haven't engaged with the festival before or had the opportunity to do something at the festival. So we have a number of different projects we've been running over the last while, which are kind of outreach and public engagement projects. One which is called Fado Fado, which John Ruddy, the animator, has been working on with young people from ethnic minorities to create an animation that'll be screened at the RCC on the 16th of July in Letterkenny. There's been a number of different projects associated with the likes of Rev you mentioned there. There's been workshop programs run with Buncrana and Glen Gadout Youth Reach. And there's been a variety of other things. There's been workshops that are young curators and projects that are young curators who've been working on, over the last 6 months. And it's great that we're trying to get a sense of what people want from the festival in future, trying to give people an opportunity to make their own work, and get creative as well too. So there's been a lot going on in the background, and a lot of hard work's been done by all the festival team, in actually creating those projects. So yeah, it's a wider brief for us, certainly. Wouldn't be possible, obviously, without the support of the likes of the Arts Council and Donegal County Council and Fáilte Ireland, but also wouldn't be without the artists, and particularly without the audiences. So say it is great to be back with a full live program, but again, festivals only made by the people who come along to the events and who participate in making the festival what it is.
Well, the live music gets underway tomorrow and tomorrow night. For instance, tomorrow night there's a Ghostlight Sessions presentation over at the Valor Arts Centre in Ballybuffet with some great talent, and there's other shows everywhere from Kennegar Brewery to the Regional Cultural Centre to Greenan itself, and there's a focus on world music, and you always feature that fairly heavily, but also on traditional music.
Yes. So I mean, we have three major shows that are being filmed for broadcast on TG Cahir later on in the year. They'll take place at Greenan Theatre. Lineup of three acts on the Saturday, which is Gotcha, the Henry Gers, and the She Fiddlers. And then on the Sunday, Ye Vagabonds are doing an afternoon show. And then the evening is another great concert lineup. It's with Diane Cannon, Manus Lunny, and Teresa Kavanagh, with Clan McRury. And then it'll be finished with Rena Conley and Honey Feet. So there is a major focus there in terms of traditional music, as you say. Yes, there are plenty of other gigs as well too. We want to offer something for everybody. So there's one of our young curators has created a program of kind of the up and coming artists. You mentioned the Ghostlight Sessions, which is a showcase of some fantastic Irish bands and musicians there. But there's another show at the Regional Culture Centre on the 21st of July, which is Cherem, Problem Patterns, and Letterkenny's own, or Donegal's own Shearbuzz playing there. So that they're reaching out to kind of very diverse kind of audiences as well. And we have an event on Saturday the 23rd in the Regional Culture Centre again, which is a celebration of the life of Angus Free Lawrence, who sadly passed away earlier this year. So there is a broad range of music in there. There's other gigs in the RCC. There's one on Saturday evening as well too, which is the music tapes. And again, there's local support in that in terms of Finn Robinson and Ori McBrearty. The Henry Girls are featuring twice. They do their homecoming gig, obviously up in Malin, but again, as I said before, they're playing in Green Theatre as well. So it gives people who maybe can't travel the distances, from Letterkenny to Malin, they'll be performing in 2 different locations in the county. And then we have, 2 very interesting world music gigs. We have an Italian group, Suono Degeri, in the Regional Cultural Centre, and that is on Tuesday the 12th. And then we have a band from Kinshasa, from the Congo, who are actually a collective of artists who work with recycled materials. They're called the Fulu Muziki Collective. It's an 8-piece group from there. And say that's kind of, a very special gig for us to be able to host back again, because I say over the last 2 years we haven't been able to invite many international artists to Donegal, and that has been a key feature of what we've wanted to do. So there's plenty of different music genres in there, and I hope that obviously that people get a chance to maybe try something a bit different as well too.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of that in evidence over the course of the festival, and people can get more information in the booklet, which is widely available, the program for the festival, or online at eaf.ie. And we're going to play out now with that collective that you chatted about there, Fulu Muziki. Paul, the best luck over the next couple of weeks.
Thank you so much. Thank you, John.